Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the state of the city. Good evening, y'all. It's Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to go over the State of the City address. Mayor Mike Spano speaking tonight at the Riverfront Library, discussing what has been accomplished over the past 4 years. Good evening, folks. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. What did you guys think? What did you think of the mayor's, if you watched it, what did you think? I thought he did well. I enjoyed it. I thought he did good. I mean, I don't want to be negative. It was, I'm an honest guy. When it's good, it's good. It was good. It was a good speech. He did well. I got in there, and you're supposed to reserve a spot, but I told him I was press, right? And so they sent the public relations officer, Lieutenant, is it Papadopoulos? Excuse me if I get that wrong, but thank you. He brought me inside and showed me to the press area, and I was there, and I slowly watched people as they trickled in. A lot of who's who, right? The who's who of Yonkers. Everyone was there. I saw obviously all the council members. Moranti said hello. I also saw Jim Bostic, former executive director of the Neppahan Community Center. I also saw Liam McLaughlin. He was there. Wilson Kimball, James Kavanaugh, individuals that I mentioned on my podcast. I saw Ken Jenkins and George Latimer. He was there. Nick Spano, he was in the house, coming to watch his brother, Mayor Mike Spano. Mary Calvi was there, supporting husband, Mayor Mike Spano. And who else? Lorraine Lopez. I saw Ron Matten. Ron Matten beginning to be known as a troublemaker. We're like part of the troublemaker crew. But I think they like us, but they don't like us. Right? It's kind of one of those things. But Ron Matten was there, freshly shaved, looking like a 21-year-old. And Bob, good seeing you again. Who else? Shout out to 914 United. I definitely want to give you guys a shout out. I met the individual who, one of the founders of 914 United, and we had a good conversation. We had a good chat, and it's unfortunate we didn't meet sooner, but it's always good to build with people. And that's really truly what I'm about. I'm not about having enemies. No, it may seem that way, but it's not who I am. And shout out to the woman, I won't say your name, to the woman who came up to me and introduced herself and told me she follows the podcast and she enjoys it, and to continue speaking truth to power. And and I was very surprised, because this was an individual that I didn't expect would say that, but so thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I was happy to be there. And I definitely was noticed. I mean, I definitely was on people's mind. I definitely was. The police officers, hung out with me, and I appreciate you guys making sure that I was safe. I did promise the lieutenant who brought me in that nothing would happen. Nothing happened, right? I was quiet. Didn't even, boo or yay. I did clap at times, but yeah, it was good. I mean, the seats weren't full. I saw some comments. People saying it doesn't seem like it's very full. A lot of empty seats. Yeah, I'm not sure normally how full it gets. This is my first State of the City address that I attended, so I can't really compare to previous ones. But I mean, it did seem like there were quite a few people there. Again, it was very much the who's who of Yonkers, of the city of Yonkers. And not to say that anyone else isn't important, because we all are equally important. Absolutely. But you know what I mean? The social, elites, I guess, or political elites, and a lot of police officers there, a lot of top brass, Christopher Sapienza, the police commissioner, was there as well. And shout out to the color guard and the lieutenant that leads the color guard. Shout out to you. And you know who else I saw? I saw my good friend. I saw my good friend Vinny Spano, the Yonkers city clerk. And you know, he didn't. His energy wasn't like, I've seen him before, and he was like upset, but his energy wasn't upset this time. He was like, I think he wanted to say hi. I wanted to say hi. I did. I wanted to say hello. Right? I mean, you get to know somebody, you build a relationship with them, you know, you know, and even some people said we were dating, right? Some people, so it was to that point, but you know, and so you do like kind of like, it's like, yo, man, you know, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like you know, come on, you know, like that's not cool, you know. And so I think that, you know, he wants to say hi. I want to say hello. I want to just, you know, because I'm not about having enemies, right? You know, although I handle enemies well, I'm not about having enemies. You know, I know you get more bees with honey, as someone likes to tell me and remind me. And so I'm trying to be sweet without being sweet, if you know what I mean. Tasha Diaz was in the house with Brenton Bullock, her chief of staff, and Lakeisha Collins Bellamy was in the house with her chief of staff, Maria George. And, you know, I've said some things about Maria George, that she was talking about me and child pornography. And I'm sure she's heard that, and she'd had an opportunity, and she's had opportunities before to address it if I was saying anything that was incorrect or false. But nothing. And you know, listen, you can talk to me. I'm not going to bite. Okay. And I'm very respectful. Right? I'll say ma'am. Yeah, I just say ma'am all the time and sir. And Shanae Williams was there. She was there. And it was great because as you walked out at the end, they had treats. They had, you know, ice cream from Lost Borough. Shout out to Lost Borough Ice Creams. They had brownies from the Greystone Bakery. You know, the Greystone Bakery makes brownies for Baskin Robbins and other companies that then sell them to the public. So they've been around for a long time, since the 70s here in the city of Yonkers. So yeah, I enjoyed the ice cream and coffee. I had some coffee, you know, and sugar was from Domino Sugar. So it was all about local, right? So I want to show you some of the video from that I took, and I couldn't record off one. I didn't bring a stand. I really wasn't there as press, right? That's what I told them. I was just hoping that was going to be the best way for me to get in without having a reservation, right? So that's why I said press. So I tried to make it appear that way. I was actually next to Ruros also. Nothing from that guy. Right? Nothing from him. But he has a lot to say online. But, you know, that's usually how it is. Nothing in person. A lot to say online. Right? And I like to talk to people. So, hey, listen, let's talk. Right? And I love the set. It was nicely done. Not sure who did that, but it was nicely done. So this is what it looked like. Grass was here. Got in there. State of the Union, State of the City. I keep saying Union, State of the City address. Oh, and I want to say, how you doing, man? Good, how's everything? Good. Oh, I also saw Matt Gallagher. Matt Gallagher is the city council. Trying to get this for the city of Yonkers. He always says hello. Matt Gallagher is very cordial. So is Steve Levy. He's the deputy mayor. Is that Steve Levy? No, not Steve Levy. Mike Ramadelli. I'm sorry. Mike, why do I always confuse you with Steve? I have no idea why. Mike Ramadelli, he is the city clerk, second city clerk or something like that. He's the guy that was calming everything down that day that Tasha Diaz went off the handle and started, you know, yelling at constituents and stuff. He brought order to the city council chambers that night, Mike Ramadelli. That's my homeboy from the building department. He's a cool guy. I like him a lot. He's a lot nicer to me. Oh, folks, I'll be back on later. Oh, okay, that was quick. So that's what it was. They had the metal detectors and stuff. You know, some people didn't think I would be able to get in, but you got to try. Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez here, live inside the. That's how it looked there, just as people get in. I want to show you when people are walking in, you know, and it's funny because they announced George Latimer or Ken Jenkins, but George Latimer walked in as if it was him, and so it's funny. City address, where most people who are going to be attending have come in. They're all saying hello to each other. the who's who of the city of Yonkers here. Some individuals who are no longer working for the city of Yonkers or elected officials, but are here. I see Ken Jenkins, Michael Sabatino. Yeah, Mike Sabatino and Wilson Kimball is actually here. James Kavanaugh, James Nolan, Moranti, you can see here. I did speak with Ron Natson, also he was here. Tom Meyer, Henry D. John, you know his name. You have the Yonkers Police Color Guard there getting ready to do what they need to do. We also have Jim Bostic in the house. Jim Bostic, the former executive director of the Neppahan Community Center, who was asked to resign. So he was asked Justin to resign Tubiolo, over some financial problems. David Tubiolo, as well as James Nolan and the Nolan family. Robert Voorhees, the husband of Michael Sabatino, former Yonkers City Council Majority Leader, I believe. Out of here. So I will be coming back on. There goes Police Commissioner Chris Sapienza. There we go. I cannot get to this. Sorry. I want to show you when they were coming in. They had all the judges come in first.
Westchester County Legislator, the Honorable Jose Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado.
Westchester County Legislator, the Honorable Christopher Johnson. Westchester County to give a Court Judge, the Honorable Ada Medina. Yonkers City Court Judge, the Honorable Karen Best.
Yeah, Karen Best. So I had to say, yeah, Karen Best, because it got low when they announced her name. Check it out. Tell me if you notice.
Yonkers City Court Judge, the Honorable Ada Medina.
Now what? Watch this.
Yonkers City Court Judge, the Honorable Karen Best.
Yeah, Karen Best. See that?
Yeah.
It was an equal treatment for the cheers.
The Honorable Arthur Doran III.
Why did they have DMX?
Court Judge, the Honorable Larry Short.
Larry Short.
Supreme Court Judge, the Honorable Hal Greenwald.
Hal Greenwald. That's the guy that recused himself from my lawsuit. I thought Hal Greenwald was a woman. That's the guy that was on the lawsuit for Zahi Jerris.
Fran Connolly. New York State Supreme Court Judge, the Honorable Charles Wood.
Charles Wood.
New York State Supreme Court Acting Judge, the Honorable Rolf Thorson. She's very well known. Mary, I'd never know her name. Mary Neighbor. Little too soon.
Little too soon.
Scataretico Neighbor.
The woman announcing can get it right.
Westchester County Family Court Judge, the Honorable Mildred Horowitz.
And George Latimer sets it.
Please welcome with us tonight, Deputy Westchester County Executive, the Honorable Ken Jenkins.
Wait, that's not Ken Jenkins. That's George Latimer. Can he not hear? She said deputy. Oh! Wrong color. And here come our council members.
Put your hands together for our Yonkers City Council members. Yonkers City Council member, the Honorable Anthony Moranti.
Let's see who gets the loudest applaud. Yes. Did you say hi to me? There you go, Mr. Rubo.
Honorable John Rubo.
Classic grinding on Mike.
Council Minority Leader, the Honorable Mike Green.
Patty, better watch it, Patty. Oh, I bet they didn't expect me here.
Majority Leader, the Honorable Tasha Diaz. And Yonkers City Council President, the Honorable Lakeisha Collins Melody.
And here's the mayor. And the mayor himself, Mayor Mike Spano. How you doing?
So who does the mayor say hello to first as he walks in? Well, none other than Freddie Vasquez. The mayor's a very nice guy. He is, and I almost feel bad. I do. I'm like the type of guy, like, when people, are nice to me after we kind of were mean to each other, I feel bad. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to be mean. Stay mean. Because then I'm going to feel bad. And I don't want to feel bad. And maybe that's his trick, right? That's his goal. Because he says hi to me all the time. He said hello to me at the St. Patrick's Day parade also. And he makes it a point to say hello to me. And so, shout out to you, Mayor. It's never personal. That's why I say it's not personal. I don't dislike the mayor or think he's a bad person. I just, listen, if the sky is blue, I say the sky is blue. That's just who I am, and if it affects my, people, which is everyone in the city of Yonkers, the residents, I have to speak up about it. People call me, I have to speak up about it. But if we could build a relationship and maybe you can name me the community advocate and we can work together to address some of these community issues, I would love to do that. That would be the best idea. Right. So I feel bad. So, I just want to say thank you, Mayor, for saying hello to me. I appreciate you acknowledging me.
There goes the mayor, Mayor Mike Spano here.
If the mayor could acknowledge me, then the rest of you can.
The 42nd mayor of the city of Yonkers, Mayor Mike Spano.
Really nice, man.
Notice the song that they're playing. Can anybody tell me what the song is? You hear the music? What song is that? Why are they playing that song?
Why do you
I didn't
think
show
that?
Nick Spano, but Nick Spano also came in.
By Captain Richard Aleno.
This is the choir from Lincoln. They're part of the My Brother's Keeper program. They did a great job.
Let's give another round of applause for the Lincoln High School Alumni Choir. Snapshot of our story.
And they just went into a little bit of the history, and they got a bunch of people to talk about how great things are going here in the city of Yonkers, and then they went on to call the mayor up. So he came up and he spoke. I want to see if I can show you some of this video here. Maybe it's this one. Was it this one? I want to show you somebody. There goes David Tubiolo. I don't know if it's this video. Or maybe not. There was David Tubiolo. Justin Tubiolo was in the house also. I've mentioned Justin Tubiolo. He's a Republican, but he hasn't been doing right by the Republicans. Justin, that's not okay. You got a lot of people that depend on you, Justin, and you have let them down. And then I'm just being honest, Justin. You know it. You know it, Justin. I'm just being honest. So, but that's it there. Let me see what I got here, what he talked about here.
A better percentage than lots that have been vacant for years. And of the
here he's talking about turning building affordable housing in vacant lots, and that was done in certain areas like on Ashburton. It wasn't a vacant lot, but it was an abandoned building. It was an old school that they then knocked down and built apartments there. And maybe in other areas here. So he's talking about that. He's talking about how much they've done in terms of affordable housing, bringing about 3,000 apartments, 3,000 affordable housing units to the city of Yonkers. And, and that's great. Obviously, if it's 3,000 more, in addition to what we already had, it's great. However, when you compare it to the amount of luxury rentals that are being brought in, it's just, there's a huge difference there, right? It's just, and when you talk about what is needed most, it's affordable housing. There's an affordable housing crisis, not only in the city of Yonkers, but in the state of New York, in the country. And so rather than build, a bunch of luxury developments, especially when you consider that the average person in the city of Yonkers only makes $35,000 a year. This is according to the mayor himself. Then, it just doesn't add up, right? So we needed more affordable housing and less luxury. And it was the opposite. So, again, I don't want to be negative, but I just want to make sure that I point that out, because there's a lot of things that are said, but I want to put it in context. And I want to really break it down and help you understand, if you don't already. I'm not saying you're not able to. I'm just, if you don't already, to understand what that truly means. Like when we talk about the graduation rate and how we are at 91% with the graduation rate, and what does that really mean, right? And crime, is crime really down, as the mayor says?
22% are classified as affordable, which is a better percentage than any other community in Westchester County. That's about 3,000 homes specifically set aside for people making between 65 and 80% of the area median income. This year alone, Yonkers is on its way to approve 650 new low-income rate units at Glenwood Hill Manor, Kindle Residences, Downing Street, and Park Square. We are building homes in sections of the city that haven't seen new development in decades. We just created a master redevelopment plan for Ludlow Park. It will include a new mixed-use building that will serve as a new gateway to the neighborhood, with additional apartments at 150 Downing Street, which currently stands empty. The developer will renovate Abe Cohen Plaza and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on improving nearby Oakville Park. The city has also talked about redeveloping Ludlow Park, and we've talked about this for years. And combined with the new waterfront park, we are now doing it with the largest private investment in the neighborhood.
And he's referring to the Ludlow Park. They purchased a lot, the city of Yonkers, recently for $13 million. They did get some funding from the Westchester County as well, and they're going to build a park there. And sources are telling me that it's going to be called Leonard Spannell Park. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what sources are telling me. But I do know what is true. They are going to be building a park along Warburton, and it's going to be called Martin Ginsburg Park. That's right, Martin Ginsburg Park. Martin Ginsburg is the developer, Ginsburg Development, the ones that are doing all the development over at the Ludlow Park, right? And I've shown them very recently in podcasts as they are, part of the whole, lobbying connection, and have donated a lot of money to many candidates here in Yonkers specifically. So they're part of the pay-to-play system. And so they're getting a park. The guy's getting a park named after him here in Yonkers. Way to go, Martin Ginsburg. Good for you.
In 2013, Yonkers instituted its first ever affordable housing ordinance, and it's the most effective one in Westchester County. But we plan to make it even better. Working with our city council, we are close to approving an enhanced ordinance that will increase the affordable housing requirements going forward, making it the most aggressive, not just here in New York State, but I would suspect in the entire country.
So he says that they are close to getting an affordable housing ordinance passed. And that's been the topic of many podcasts on Basement Politics. And I've been mentioning it very recently. That's where Tasha Diaz did the flip-flop. And it's funny because the reason why she got so upset with the Yonkers Sanctuary Movement and Diana Sanchez that day when she was yelling and calling them beggars at the meeting was because they went to her one day and handed her, she says they threw them at her, but they say they handed her flip-flops, literally flip-flops that you wear on your feet, because she flip-flopped on the housing ordinance. And now this was back in 2021. And so here we are, March of 2023, and we've yet to see a new housing ordinance introduced. Again, we are in a housing crisis. Not only do we need a new affordable housing ordinance, we also need a lot more affordable housing. And I suspect that they will be beginning to build more. The question is where. So, that's something that I want folks to really always remember, and that's why I mention it all the time. The flip-flop on the affordable housing ordinance, which shows just how much they truly are concerned with the people versus how much they're concerned with themselves. They can get legislation introduced, passed in 10 days, voted on, passed in 10 days. The term limits, I'm referring to term limit extension, right? Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, City Council President, introduces it alone. They have these hearings, public hearings, and then they vote on it. It gets passed, regardless if the people were out in full force against it. It still was passed in 10 days. Now we need affordable housing. We need a new affordable housing ordinance, and here we are, 2 years now, and nothing. And so that's why I say this. And I'm not being negative. I'm not targeting Lakeisha or Tasha or anyone just because I'm targeting them, or because they're a woman, or because they're Black, or because they're a Black woman, or because of anything other than their poor policy decision making. That's all I focus on. I don't talk about people's kids. I don't. And please show me where I talked about someone's kid. Right? Because I've heard this now twice. And just to clear the record, I never said Corazon Pineda, Isaac, and Vinny Spano did anything. I'm saying that that's what I was hearing. A lot of people were saying it, but that I believe from what I heard that it came from Tasha Diaz and Zehi Juris, and that I didn't believe it was true. That's what I said. I just want to clear for the record, because that's come up recently now, that I said that she was, no, I said that that's a rumor started by Tasha Diaz and Zehi Juris, but I didn't believe it was true. I don't think it's true. I don't think they had an affair, not at all. So I want to be clear on that, okay? Just for the record, because they're saying that's what I said. And I didn't talk about any one of your kids either, Corazon or Vinny. Neither one of your kids. Please, if I did, show me the clip. Show me the clip. And when I say show me the clip, guess what? I never get the clip sent to me. So I know that what I say and I don't say. And so, I just want to put that out there. But yeah, so that's my issue, right? You guys are, you can pass this legislation that benefits you guys, right? A term extension will benefit the mayor if he wins, which he has a strong possibility of winning based on, his 12 years of building up this, power infrastructure that they've laid out perfectly, and the money that they've managed to acquire, right? It's going to be difficult. But when it comes things for the people, it takes forever. Even that thing with Corazon, the affordable housing registry, even though there was already one, even though that's, to me, is not the biggest thing that she should be focusing on, it's still something that's intended to help people. And look how long that took. But they want to redistrict the city, especially in time for these elections. They'll get that passed in 10 days. So you have to watch that. And that's just what I point out. People don't like it, but I appreciate those who do understand what I'm doing, and they come up to me and they thank me and they say they like the show. Shout out to you. And that's more often than I hear negative stuff. Right? And that's organic also. It's not coming from people who, that have an agenda to dislike my show. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, maybe there's something else here.
Funded by the city's largest employer and regional destination, Empire City Casino, in its quest to be home of a full gaming facility. And the list just goes on and on. These new approaches to development not only built a larger tax base, but it helped us spur the creation of thousands of local jobs in varied industries and in all corners of our city. So much so that January 2023 marked the lowest unemployment rate in 12 years.
So he's saying that, with Lionsgate coming in, and then MGM Grand, as they are hoping to get a full gaming license. And if they do, that means that they'll have blackjack tables, they'll have, roulette tables, it'll be Las Vegas. It'll be Las Vegas and Yonkers, right? So are we going to be the Las Vegas on the Hudson? I mean, we could be both now, right? Las Vegas on the Hudson, if they get full gaming, that means that they're probably going to expand their facilities. That means that they're going to be having a lot more people coming into the city of Yonkers to go gambling. And that's going to bring a lot of issues within itself. And so it's supposed to hire a lot of people. Lionsgate's supposed to have hired a lot of people, but they're not really hiring people from Yonkers. Now, a lot of the people who work for Lionsgate and or any one of these studios or whatever, or in construction, maybe even that lives in Yonkers, just recently moved here. So yeah, okay, maybe they live in Yonkers now, but they are not someone that's from Yonkers. They moved here because of their job. They moved here because now Lionsgate is here and they work in production. So that's what you're going to see a lot more of. And ultimately, that's the plan. The plan is to build the 22 to 24 studios that the mayor has said we're going to be coming, and then bring in all the people that are coming from the West Coast that work on these shows and do production already for these companies to come live in those developments that they're building. That's the plan. So when people say they're not even full because the studios are not all built yet, just wait on it. And then you'll have a whole section of town by the waterfront that will be movie studio industry folks. And you really will see a small, tiny percentage of that be individuals that are originally from Yonkers. I can almost guarantee you that. And so when they say we're bringing jobs in because we're bringing in Lionsgate and we're bringing in MGM and these developments that are going to give people jobs, that has not panned out. I'll say it that way. That's a nice way of saying it. It has not panned out that way. And these developments are going up, and yet we don't see many jobs really. And he talks about unemployment. Well, there's a whole trick to unemployment. Unemployment only factors in people who are actually looking for a job, that are actively looking for a job. So there's a whole segment of the population that's unemployed that's not being accounted for. And that's how they fluff numbers. Right? So there's all these stipulations to the way they do it. So when he says that unemployment is the lowest it's been in 12 years, well, it's probably because a lot of people have lost their job and have given up on looking for another one, or have left Yonkers to find a job. That's why. Right? So it's not because jobs have been brought in and all of these people are now getting hired. That's an important difference. You have to understand that. That's the difference between doing a good job and not doing a good job.
We are also ensuring that our youth are set up for success. The Yonkers Workforce Development Board has employed over 200 economically disadvantaged youth in its summer program since 2012. Preparing our youth for today's emerging technology is essential to driving Yonkers' economic engine. And I'm pleased to share with you that in collaboration with the Yonkers Public Schools, Ford Motor Company soon will partner with our automotive magnets at 3 local high schools to enhance their training and to include EV applications and other technical advancements. In return, our students will have direct access to jobs at local Ford dealerships. That's reimagining our workforce.
So the mayor talks about partnering up with Ford Motor Company, for a mechanics program in the school, and they have an automotive program in the school. And I want to shout out to Steve Simpson. I know he works a lot with students here in the Yonkers Public Schools in an automotive program that they have. You know, he loves cars. He's all about cars, very good with cars. And so he brings that passion, that skill set, and he teaches the high school students. And I'm just wondering if that's something that maybe Steve was involved in. But that's a good idea, and that's something that we've talked about here on the podcast. Trade schools or high schools like Saunders or others, where kids who may not foresee college in their future can learn a trade and go into the workforce right after high school. And again, it's something that I've mentioned many, many times on the show, and it's good to hear. And I've also talked about, and something I would implement as mayor, a program where high school students will train or be put on a path to get hired within one of the departments here in the city of Yonkers. And if it's a department where you are required to have a college degree, because there are jobs that you have to have a college degree, like a teacher, you have to have a master's in teaching, that they help you get on that path. Maybe you can take some college courses for that career while you're in high school so you can get ahead. And then when you come out, you can give your time to the Yonkers Public School and work here, and you're from the community. You're from the school district. And maybe they can even do programs when they'll pay for kids to go to this college, or give them some college money to pay for the tuition. And in return, they just have to agree to give X amount of years to the Yonkers Public School. They can't go anywhere else. Or if you want to be a police officer, you're required to have X amount of college credits, right? So these are things that we can do to get kids in the police department, DPW, teaching in the Yonkers Public Schools, firemen, if that's what they would prefer. And so I think that's a program I'd like to see happen. I would definitely implement that program, keeping, people from Yonkers here in Yonkers, hopefully staying in Yonkers, buying homes in Yonkers, paying taxes in Yonkers, making good salary working for Yonkers, but keeping that money in Yonkers. When you have so many employees leaving the city of Yonkers every day after work, taking the taxpayer money that they make with them, and it's pretty good salaries that they make. I mean, we're talking $150,000, $200,000 salaries, many employees. And they take that out of the city. That impacts our economy. They're not buying homes here. They're not paying property taxes here. They're not shopping much here. They're not registering their cars here. They're not, all this stuff that I guess I would imagine the city taxes or makes money off for. They're not getting parking tickets here, right? Because they don't live here. So they're not contributing a lot of that money that comes from the city. Taxpayer money, revenue that the city, is paying them. And we would like to keep that, the tax money, we like to keep that here so we can put that back into our schools and our roads and stuff like that. But when that money is leaving the city, and it's a good chunk of it, because the revenue that's generated by the city of Yonkers, a majority of it goes to salaries. I just, 60%, just, without looking at the exact number, it's about 60-some%, maybe more, of the revenue generated by the city of Yonkers is going to salaries. That's a big chunk, a huge chunk. We have so much that we have to put money towards, specifically our schools, that, it's something we have to consider. Well, a lot of city employees don't work here, just like Stephen Trevert the Flirt. I hear that's what he called him. Stephen Trevert the Flirt, who works for Breen. I hear he's Breen's handler. That's what I hear. He keeps Breen in line. This is what I've heard this many times. He doesn't live in Yonkers, but sucks the taxpayers dry, unless you count his mother's home that he rents out. Ask him how he got his Hampton home. Ooh, Stephen Trevert got a Hampton home. He lives in his wife's house that she had with her ex-husband. Good thing he has all the money, because allegedly he may be sued for his inappropriate behavior. He also needs to stop corrupting Luke Skywalker. Luke Sweeney is who she's referring to, the nephew of the individual, I believe is a judge. Oh, he ran for Sweeney. Forget the first name. Tom Sweeney, maybe? Yeah, Luke Sweeney. Don't get corrupted by Stephen Trevert, who Stephen Trevert is known to make fake Facebook accounts, and he targets people. He harasses people. He harasses women especially. He does it all hiding. He was caught before. He slipped up, didn't change the account or something, and it showed. And this was actually on a live meeting, on the City of Yonkers website, or the City Council website or Facebook page. And this is the man that works for city government officials. Mike Breen, the city councilman for the 5th District. I believe he's the one that's also using the fake page Sal. and he says that Ron Mattin is still in District 5. Is that true, Ron? Are you still in District 5? I was told not to believe everything you say. Mm. Yes. So, I get text messages. I'm sorry. I get them and I have to read them. I should have had him fired. I still have the voicemail of his fake groveling. Ooh, I love to have it. politicwithfred@gmail.com. Send it to me and I'll play it. And everyone, I'm saying this, record everything. And by the way, I hear the guy that I was talking about that was suicidal because he was retaliated on and he was fired. Was not black. He's not black. I was told he was black. So I apologize to the black community organizations and all that, but not really. Not really, because there's still black people you guys don't help. And I know they're black because I'm married to them. Right? So not really. But I love to be, cordial and do things with you guys and actually help the people you're supposed to help in your mission and vision statement. Sending, perfect. Send it to me and I'll play. Who wants to hear this? I'll play it right now. Steve, you're a bad boy, Steve. Stop making fake pages. And I know you're upset because Ron Mattin was at Mike Breen's fundraiser with a retired Breen sign. And he's playing the game. He was upset. And that's why because he was for extending the term limits. He was never against it. When he went on to Ruros and said that, he was playing the game. He was trying to send a message to the Spanos. Hey, you better support me. And that might have been Patty's idea. Because I hear Patty, his wife, is very tough. Oh, is that what you mean by talking about the wives? Well, at least I'm saying she's tough. I'm not putting, sex toys by her face like they've done to my wife. All right. So it's a huge difference. But I hear Patty doesn't play any games. Patty does not play any games. And she demands what she demands for Mike Breen. And she gets it. And Mike Breen has done what he's done for the Spanos. He went along with the term extension, going against the Republicans, the entire Republican Party.
Good evening, Carolyn. This is Stephen Tavert.
Yeah.
Sorry that I'm calling you so late, but I just got your number a little bit ago. I actually intended to call you prior to this yesterday, in fact, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I apologize for calling you later than I wanted to. And in any event, I was calling to apologize for the awful and childish and ridiculous and immature and there's not enough adjectives to describe my behavior. In any event, feel free to call me back at 914-906-2564. If you are willing, I'd be happy and like to talk to you in person or at least on the phone, I should say. And again, I apologize for calling this late, but I just got a hold of your number. So hope you're well and speak to you soon.
Did you guys hear the entire thing? You guys, yeah? Carolyn, did you hear it all? Well, there you go. He confessed. He apologized. Steve, this is a woman. And the only reason why he apologizes is because he got caught. That's a woman, Steve. And you're still up to your old tricks and you're attacking this woman, harassing her online. And, as I love the young police, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about you guys. I have a question. If this is happening and it's happening to many residents, why isn't it being stopped? Why isn't something being done? I mean, we have Brian Harrod, you have Ruros of the Yonkers Voice, and you have this guy, obviously Stephen Chibert, making fake accounts and harassing people online. At one point, it was on a daily basis with the fake pages. They would make fake pages with my name, and then they would go and comment on other people's stuff as if it was me. And they would attack me, my wife, and say all these things like, they think they knew me and they were getting information from people who knew me or were related to me because they're a bunch of bitter dummies being used to attack their own family. But nothing they said ever really bothered me because I don't care. I don't care what you say about me. I really don't. If I cared, I wouldn't do this podcast because everyone's got something to say about me because of this podcast. So, and so that's got to be stopped. Like, how does that just allow to, I'm talking about politics. This is not harassing. You don't want to be talked about, then don't be a politician that's selling out the people. If you don't want to be talked about. Because, we have to point that out. That's what it's all about, right? If you're going to be an elected official, you're going to go up there and you're going to do things that go against the best interests of the people, and someone calls you out on it, you can't get mad about that. That doesn't mean you attack their family. Doesn't mean you create fake pages and you do all this crazy stuff and harass them on a daily basis. Don't be a politician. Do the right thing. Or at least own what you do and speak up and say why. Because I've invited people, Lakeisha, come on my show, talk to me about why you introduced the legislation, but you're not. So if you felt so strongly about that you were doing the right thing, you would have no problem coming on Basement Politics and telling the people why it was that you introduced that legislation. You wouldn't. You wouldn't have no problem. This is why I did it. And I believe I was doing the right thing. But you won't. And neither will Tasha. She's not going to come on here and say, oh, this is why I flip-flopped. Because I will poke holes in the BS they would give me. So that's what you guys got to judge things on. Their actions, not their words. Because most of you guys don't know them. So if you see them smiling and doing certain things and you think they're nice, you don't really know them. And you got to see what their actions are. What have they done for the people, really? What have they done for the people? I am still waiting for an answer to that question. What have they done for the residents of the city of Yonkers since being in office that has truly impacted people's lives? What? Their primary responsibility is the budget, the city budget. That's their primary, and they don't even talk about that. What do they talk about the most? Food distribution. And so that's all I'm doing. So if I call that out, you can't get mad. And you're going to have these guys creating fake pages and stuff and then attacking me. And then, yeah, of course, I'm going to go back with some things too, because you guys, you want to do this funny stuff. You guys started it, not me. I know that sounds childish, but you started it. It wasn't me. It was, because I was donated $500 checks to these people. Why would I give you a $500 check if I want to have a problem with you? Right? You guys ain't give me my checks back, did you? No. So, I want people to understand that. I want people to truly understand that I never set out to have an issue with anybody, but it is what it is. This is what they do, and I call it out. I'm sorry. I tried to be, and then I realized, this is crazy. What do they do here in the city of Yonkers? This is bad. And if, you talk to other people that I've been talking about it, your mind will be blown if you don't know. If you really don't know, your mind will be, that this is what's actually happening. That people that are in government, professionals, right? Professionals do this. That's crazy. His fake account tonight on the City of Yonkers post pushed me too far. Yeah, these people will put information that's really not even relevant, but is being done to embarrass, insult, humiliate people. But they don't even realize the only people that you're humiliating is yourself. The only people that you're embarrassing is yourself, because as a grown individual, for you to go online, make a fake page and attack a woman or anyone else, and you work for the city or an elected officials, that makes you stupid. And now you're copping pleas. You're calling people up and apologizing when you get caught. That makes you stupid. And I didn't hear back from you, Jeffrey Meyer. Jeffrey Meyer, I don't know who told him, somebody, one of his friends, Mr. Jeff Meyer. I will definitely come on. Let's talk about how when Liam lost, he went to the Republicans and made a deal to take 3 jobs, leaving 2 women jobless. One is a 9/11 cancer survivor. Stephen is ruthless. Yeah, what do you mean by that? Let's talk about how Liam lost when he went to the Republicans and made a deal to take 3 jobs, leaving 2 women jobless. What do you mean he made a deal to take 3 jobs, leaving 2 women jobless? What do you mean by that? Anyway, I'll talk about Jeff Meyer in the meantime. Jeffrey Meyer is an individual that retired from something. He lived in New York and now he lives in Tampa, Florida. And he's a part of Ridgeway Alliance Church. And Ridgeway Alliance Church has a food pantry. And so this food pantry donates food. It's like Feeding Westchester, but it's Ridgeway Alliance Church. And they are part of the food distribution. But they only work with Tasha, or at least in Yonkers, maybe they only work with Tasha Diaz or elected officials, right? And so I did a podcast talking about the food distribution voter block. And I mentioned Jeffrey Myers. Apparently I called him a fool. And I was reminded because I used the word stupid. And I said, yeah, you a fool. And I said it again to him when he texted me, because if you were smart, you wouldn't even acknowledge me. But when you acknowledge me, you validate me. Okay? But you have to acknowledge me because what I'm saying is true. And what I'm saying could be quite possibly illegal. Right? And so you're utilizing these food drives in order to get information. And we spoke about this, right? When people come, they get their information and they use it for petitions and votes. That's how they get these petition signatures so quick. And that's why they all want one. That's why they all want a food drive. You know, they all want one. And that's why they don't ever partner up with regular people who have nonprofits, because it's for the elected officials. And they do it with them. And I don't know why, because they don't take the credit really. Feeding Westchester doesn't really take the credit. Ridgeway Alliance Church doesn't really take the credit or get the credit. It's always Tasha Diaz's food drive. But she did nothing to it. She did nothing for it. All she did was drive her city car to it. Or they'll say Corazon food drive, or, you know, whoever's food drive. But the reality is, it's the organization that doesn't get credit. Now, so I said, Jeffrey, why is it that you allow Tasha Diaz to be a part of this, attach herself to it, and politicize this food distribution? It's been causing some kind of, stir. There's been this whole talk about it. This isn't the first time, right? It's been mentioned. And yet, rather than say, you know what, because we're here to really help people and feed people, and that's what I'm all about. Excuse me, Ms. Diaz, since you don't do shit really, and I don't know why you're really here, can you just please just go somewhere else so that people don't look at it negatively, so it doesn't appear that we're helping you gain support and votes and petition signatures, so it doesn't appear that you're here to collect data on people for your benefit? So you're not just here to promote yourself. Can you please just step away? But he hasn't done that because he knows what's going on. And so he got all upset that he sent me this long message on Facebook last night or the night before. It was the night before, I saw it this morning. And he was like acting tough. Like, listen here, you're a punk. You hide behind your podcast. No, look, you can see me, right? I don't hide behind my podcast. I don't make fake accounts like Steve or anyone else. No. So don't be tough. Don't act tough. I didn't say anything. If you said I called you a fool, maybe. Okay. So what?
that a big deal? I've been called worse, and I've never even acknowledged it. Because if you're such a professional that's doing something, Feeding Westchester doesn't acknowledge me, but you do. Why? And then you're going to say, oh, you have my number. And I've tried to really have your number. I don't know. You gave it to me. Oh, well, I don't remember you giving me your number. And then you go, oh, you could call me. And I don't care to call you. I don't need to have a conversation with you. I already know what it is. When people tell me that they already signed a petition because they did that to keep the food drive going, then I know what it is already. When a bunch of people sign a petition for certain individuals and they don't even know who they signed for, and they're home during the day, and then I ask them, hey, do you go to that food drive? And they say, yeah, then I know what it's about already. So I don't have to call you, Jeff, because it's not like you're going to say, oh, yeah, you're right, Freddie. You're going to just deny it. So why would I go back and forth with you? Right? You understand why? And then so then he tells me that his kids are still in New York and that he comes to New York to visit them. And so the next time he's in New York, that I guess we could see each other face to face. And I said, okay, you ain't saying nothing. Let me know. Please give me, at least 24-hour notice so I could be ready. Clear my schedule. Don't talk tough. That's what I told him. No, what does that mean? Because I called you a fool? Or is it because I'm telling people what you guys are doing? And you know that's a no-no. And because you're all the way in Tampa, dude. I can't imagine that you're still that involved. Why don't you go do them in Tampa? Nobody needs food there? Come on, dude. I told the guy, I said, I'm not stupid, right? I'm not stupid. So, Jeff, like, I wasn't acting tough. I didn't say I was going to fight you, beat you up. I want to see you. I didn't say anything about you. And he goes, oh, I blocked you because you talk about people's families. Who? Whose family has been talked about? Oh, did you block Rue Ross and all those other people that talked about my family? No. Don't give me that nonsense. Who? I don't talk about no kids. Okay. And I don't talk about a wife. And the only thing I said about Vinny Spano's wife, and I'll say it again because I already said it, was that she knocked the woman out or bust her teeth. That's what I heard. That's what a lot of people told me. So, that's it. Right. And there's a lot of things that I've heard about these elected officials that I have not said. Because it's just, I don't want to go there. That's between them and God. All right. So, Jeff, I don't know what you talk about. Again, show me the clip. Otherwise, stop. If you really are genuine about what you say, then, I know you don't have to prove anything because I don't have to prove anything. You don't have to prove anything to me. You don't. So why are you even messaging me? Right? Then don't even communicate with me. Right? But if you're genuine and you see what's happening, don't prove it to me. You see what's happening, then say, Tasha, I'm sorry, but we're here to help people. This is kind of bringing unnecessary attention. And I'd rather not have it. But you don't do that. So let's be honest, right? Let's be honest, Jeff. So whatever. So if you still want to come and see me when you're in New York the next time, cool. I don't know. What do you want to do? You gonna fight? How old are you? Gonna fight? Want to fight? Whatever. I don't get what you mean by all that tough talk. And I told him, I said, stop with the tough talk, guy. Don't call me no punk. You know what I'm saying? I guess I called you a fool, but you are a fool. You're a fool for even responding in that manner. That's a fool. Just saying. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. And I'm not a fool. Though many of you probably think I am, right? Anyway, folks, thank you for joining me. That's the state of the state of the city, he talked about the schools and the graduation rate being 91%. But again, a lot of kids did not have to take the Regents because of the pandemic. So there was about 2 years of kids not taking Regents. So that helped also with the graduation rate because, they didn't have to take the Regents, right? And that's usually what kind of hurts a lot of kids is the Regents, which is, I don't understand why is it that New York has Regents. I didn't graduate in New York. And I got to say, thank God. I'm sorry. I just have to say that. And I didn't take Regents. We didn't take Regents. I don't get the whole Regents thing, right? Let's just provide a good quality education. That's it. And let's teach them things that they need to know, So like financial literacy. Shout out to 911 again. You know, good meeting you guys. I love to link up. You know, I know you guys do things on financial literacy. That's what I've been wanting to do. Like I say, I'm not looking to lead anything. I'm looking to help build something, right? I don't need to be the boss, the leader. I'm already a boss. And like I said, sometimes I just want to be the employee. A lot easier. So I'm not looking to take the lead. I know sometimes, and I'm not talking about 914 United specifically. I'm just saying in general. I know sometimes people get territorial. They want to be, I just want to help. Where could I add? How can I add? And how can I help build this to become a great big thing here in the city of Yonkers? That's what I'm looking for. I'm Freddie Vasquez. I am running for mayor, and I will get you some of those answers to the individual that's texted me. I'm waiting on that person. You know, I think the person's kind of acting iffy. Now, you know, I'll tell you offline. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Peace out. Thank you for allowing me in there, guys. Thank you for the Yonkers Police Department. And Vinny, I think you wanted to say hello, right? If you did, and I actually texted you, Vinny. I don't think your number might have changed. But if you did, reach out to me. You got my number. My number don't change. My number's been the same for 15 years. So, because that's just the type of guy I am. I don't hide. Don't need to hide. You know where I'm at. I'm in City Hall. Oh, by the way, the mayor did mention that all the building department documents will be digitized. That should have been done a long time ago. The city of New York has everything digitized. They have a thing called DOB Now. You can go on there, file your permits, look up records, documents, all that good stuff. You don't have to actually go into a building department, make an appointment, and hope that the documents are in your folder. That's what many residents here in the city of Yonkers are experiencing. And I hear if you complain, you get a violation. Hey, Mr. Roach, building inspector, you really bitching about a mop? Really? I can point out a lot of other things there that you should have seen and been more concerned with. And to me, I don't know, but we're gonna dig deep. I suggest you tow those cars, clear the easement, and let's have a nice day.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
In another one, Mr. Lugo lied to me. And I don't vote for the person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want somebody butter chicken. So thank you.
You and I would be the experts.
Begging.
We're on hot dogs, yes.
Begging. You're one of them. Begging.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Who did she talk to?
Let me know.
You ratchet, hood rat. Yo, I'm glad I left.
Let me tell you something. I've sat there. No. I sat there.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Let me tell you, it's a lot of people that spoke today that was against me, and I still help you to this day. There are churches that are sitting in here that come to me, and I provide for your parishioners. Okay? And they come to me.
You don't do nothing. Oh, I should have stayed.
They come to me. Well, now you say it's my job, but when I'm out there on the front line, you say it's not. And I have given to you as well. When I became majority leader, I became majority leader to change the narrative. The narrative of being, and let me tell you, it's a lot of people that spoke today that was against me, and I still help you to this day. There are churches that are sitting in here that come to me, and I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
What is that sweet spot?
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I went to Yonkers Public Schools. I don't think you did. We can go on all night with this, honey.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!
Benefit him, but he doesn't cover. He only talks trash.